His human rights have been violated, and there is no doubt if it wasn't for the amazing journalists who have raised some awareness of his case, he would be dead right now. Hi guys, welcome back to Mysteries with Pippa. Thank you so much for joining me today. So this case that I am doing today is probably one of the most important cases that I have done to date. As you know, many of the cases that I have done are old, the people are dead or are missing, and there's always something that I can't help with yet as much as I would like to. However, this case today is especially important because it's happening right now as we speak, and this is a case where you can do something about it, and I can, if we learn more about this and we raise awareness to make this stop. If one person sees this in the UK, then I know I've done my job. Right now it's currently happening elsewhere across the world, but if we can spread awareness to this, then I know that I've done a good job. So this is the current wrongful imprisonment of Dr. Abdullahi Hashi. So before we get into the case at the moment and what's happening right now across the world, I wanted to give you some background about Dr. Hashi. The reason for this is just so you can get a feel for him and just really kind of enjoy who he is as a person and make you realise what an incredible man this is, and what's currently happening to him right now is so... I can't even justify it. And I want you guys to know just what an amazing man he is, what good he does for not only his own community, his family, his friends, other communities around the world, and what he does as a whole. Dr. Hashi was born in Somalia in 1957 to two really loving and caring parents. His father, Hasi Ali, was an officer, and his mother, Khadija Hagi, was a stay-at-home mother. Now when I say stay-at-home mother, it's actually a stay-at-home mother and a full-time job in one, because Dr. Hashi had 8 sisters and 1 brother, all of which his mother and his father brought up together. He was extremely well educated. He went to university in Italy, he studied medicine, and he graduated in 1987. So Dr. Hashi really got his love for helping people and seeing them recover from his family. You know, his father was well known in his community in Somalia as helping his community and being really respected in the community, and his mother did most amazing things, charitable things, to help her family and the community. So he was brought up around a family that was all about giving. If you did something for yourself, you did something for your neighbour. Another thing which is incredible about Dr. Hashi is his relationship with his family, so including his siblings. Now during the war in Somalia, they all found refuge and moved all over the world, but yet they still all remained in touch. All of his siblings, all 9 of them, including him, 10, they would make it their priority to always stay in touch. Now I don't know about you, but especially me, I can't get family members in the same city, maybe our friends that live a couple of minutes away, to meet and talk to me. So you can only imagine the extent that him and all his siblings went to make sure that they all stayed in touch. To also show the kind of family that he was and that his family were, they would often send money back to Somalia because they were aware that, as fortunate as they were to be able to get out of Somalia during the war, during the civil war, and the problems that are still ongoing, they had the opportunity to leave. So they never forgot their roots, they never forgot where they came from, and would always send money back, always send aid back, always thought of their home country. So since Dr. Hashi's family have spoken out about the injustice that has happened to him, countless people have messaged him to say that, you know, the people that have saved his lives, I've seen them myself all over Twitter, the people that he has worked with who said he is the most honourable and kind man who will go above and beyond to help anyone, not just patients, not just his colleagues, anyone, a stranger. His bedside manner is unlike what your stereotypical doctor would be like. He is an incredible person. I've been speaking to his niece and I asked what her most favourable memory of him was. It was learning that he could speak a buffet of languages. So as well as being a doctor, he could speak Arabic, he could speak French, he could speak English and Italian. Probably more, but that's all that she managed to kind of grasp when she was talking to him, to realise this was a man who is unprecedented in our times. He can speak multiple languages. He is a doctor. When you just hear about what I'm about to say, you won't believe your eyes to think what he's going through now, and especially the pandemic that we're in, what he could be doing to help, and yet what has happened to him. So after graduating, he worked at a military hospital in Somalia until 1991. He then worked in a medical agency for a couple of years, and then in 2003 he went back to Rome to study and specialise in infectious diseases. In 2016, after all his hard work, he eventually became, and I'm sorry I have to read this, I've tried to memorise it, his title along with the responsibility is extremely long. So he became the Director General of the Federal Ministry of Health in Somalia. So as the Director General, he controls operations and he signs off contracts with amazing organisations such as UNICEF, the WHO, HOO, Doctors Without Borders, etc. And he does really amazing things to help Somalia and the community. He's responsible for ensuring that organisations implement any policies that need to be in medicine. And he is also the advisor to the Minister of Health. So he's been doing a lot of good for his community. Now, what happened that led to this video being recorded is exactly this. He was sat in his office. I'm not entirely sure what day it was, but it was in the last couple of months. He was sat in his office and officers arrived to his office and said they needed to speak to him. So he cooperated, you know, he had nothing to hide or worry about, and joined them down the station. It was there that he was arrested. So initially he didn't seek out a lawyer, you know, he does amazing things. He was just in his office one day, he assumed that they had the wrong identity, and he gave the police quite a lot of slack. You know, he was cooperating with them, he didn't seek out a lawyer, and kind of just left them to realise, hey, whatever it is, they have the wrong guy. On day 3, Dr. Hashi began to worry and realised that maybe they weren't looking for the wrong guy and these people weren't out to help him in any way. So he got a lawyer. Dr. Hashi so far has been in front of a judge 3 times and has asked, what am I being imprisoned for? What am I being arrested for? What is going on? And 3 times a judge has been unable to tell Dr. Hashi what he's being arrested for. 3 times the judge has said we're still looking into it, and currently he still doesn't know why he was arrested. They kept him in jail without any reasoning and without any charge. So while Dr. Hashi was locked up, he had previous medical health issues and he needed medication for. He was denied this. Then after a week he was paired up in a cell with someone who was displaying COVID symptoms. So Dr. Hashi got extremely unwell while he was in prison, and a lawyer asked to be tested for COVID. This was initially rejected on no grounds, just for the fact that it was rejected because it was Dr. Hashi. But his lawyer fought for him and he eventually got a COVID test done and it tested positive. Despite this, they wouldn't let him seek medical attention, and it was only because of the most amazing journalist that this has come to light, that I'm able to talk about this today. So the journalist is Ahmed Adawaka. I do apologise if I said his last name wrong there. I've been unable to pronounce some of the words. And he made it aware in the community exactly what was going on. He tried to make bail but was denied. On no reasons, still don't even know the charge. And then the government said, yeah, okay, you can have bail. It's 150,000 US dollars. You have to pay it cash in hand. You will have no paper receipt, and then you can go. I can't tell you how illegal this is, and I can't tell you how wrong this is. You should just already know by what I'm telling you. But Dr. Hashi was outraged. He knew this was extremely illegal, what was happening to him, but then he also was aware that despite his illness, despite the Somali community needing him for the good that he does, he wasn't prepared to pay the money, as understandable as it is. So the journalist Ahmed brought attention again to the injustice that was happening, and the government decided to post him bail for 150,000 US dollars, provided that they have paperwork. They said, yes, okay, we'll provide you the paperwork, still with no knowledge of why he was arrested. So it's unclear why the government have done this, but there is something that we think, especially Dr. Hashi thinks, the reason why this has happened. So Dr. Hashi is an incredibly honest man. Anyone who meets him, they will tell you just what an incredible man he is. But also at the same time, he fights for corruption for his people, and he wants his people to receive the utmost care, first-class care. It is also understood that agencies such as Manhal and Udemli are setting him up. So Dr. Hashi had attempted to audit these companies and agencies as part of his job. That's what he was meant to do. And it is believed, especially me, I do believe as well, that they are attempting to silence him. So these two agencies have misappropriated funds that is required for COVID-19 elsewhere that is completely illegal and shouldn't be done. And it's scary because these agencies are collaborating with the Office of the Prime Minister and PMs to get him arrested, and did. So you guys might be asking questions, so where do we go from here? He's now out, he's met bail, he's getting better every day. He is successfully beating COVID-19, which is incredible in itself, because as we know, anyone who has an underlying health condition with no medical attention and then they get COVID, they're at a much higher risk. But Dr. Hashi, as the amazing man that he is beating all the odds for COVID, and he is trying to beat the odds for this justice system. At this point, we are extremely worried that once he has recovered, he will be taken back to jail. They arrested him for no reason. Why can't they do it again? He's on bail now. What happens now? Does he go to a court date? He has no idea. So every day his human rights have been violated, and there is no doubt, if it wasn't for the amazing journalists who have raised some awareness of his case, he would be dead right now. The day that he wakes up, he lives in constant fear that the government are going to take him back in. He's not free. And why would he feel free? You wouldn't. His human rights have been violated, and there is no doubt, if it wasn't for the amazing journalists who have raised some awareness of his case, he would be dead right now. Hashtag justice for Abdullahi Hashi. Please use this hashtag to raise awareness for this case. And I've been speaking to the niece, and I asked her what she thought of her uncle. Was there anything that she wanted me to know about her uncle, Dr. Hashi? And this is what she said. She said, "I just want the world to know that my uncle is a compassionate man. He puts others before him. He's a man that follows the law, and he's a man that does everything by the book. He always looks for the good in people. Even in a situation like this, he still keeps his trust in the justice system. The truth will always come to light." So I ask you here, as I've never asked before in a video, that you please raise some awareness of this. Please visit the most amazing niece of Dr. Hashi. You can visit her Instagram here. She is constantly giving updates on the case of what's going on at the moment. Please share the hashtag justice for Abdullahi Hashi. Please tag in everyone you can think of, The WHO, Amnesty International, anyone you can think of. I'm going to leave a link down below of all the different hashtags that you can use to be able to bring some justice for Dr. Hashi. Dr. Hashi just wants to be able to go to work, do his job, not be arrested for a crime that he has not committed and has no idea what he's being committed for. Because if they can do this in the 21st century to a doctor, what can they do to anyone else? And it's not even what can they do, what have they done? Because you can tell that this is not the first time. And hashtag justice for Abdullahi Hashi. Usually I would end this by saying I hope you enjoyed the case today, I hope you learned something new today. I'm saying I hope you learnt today of what is currently going on in the 21st century today in Somalia. If you're watching this, 10 times out of 10, you are an incredibly lucky person. You know, you are in a country that provides you amazing care. If you are met with an injustice, you have a right to a lawyer, you have a right to know what you have been charged with, and you have a right to fight this fairly. A doctor who is so well respected in his community, who does so much, whose family do so much, who does nothing but good, who dedicates their career and their life to learning other languages, to teaching other people, to curing people, to making people's lives the best that they can, ends up in a situation like this. So please, if you take anything away from this, it is the hashtag and it is the name. Please keep it ingrained, and it is justice for Abdullahi Hashi. Thank you.